Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Tea Talk podcast. I'm your host, Tasso. Over there's Dana. And of course, we're brought to you by driftinthreads.com. Use code TEATALK for 10% off at checkout. Dana, how you doing today?
Doing good. How about you?
I'm good, dude. We had a great Tea Talk episode yesterday that went out, and you guys are absolutely eating it up. You love it. And we love to see that you guys love it. You know, that's our biggest goal. We love seeing that a lot of you are getting to the end of the video because you put in our little passphrase in the comment section. Besides that, no, you guys are killing it. It actually has broken every record that we've had on the channel. It reached 137 views in the last 24 hours, which is a massive, massive, massive gain. Usually we're at 60 around this time, according to our statistics. But yeah, today we have some good topics. This is actually the first episode that was entirely written by Dana himself. So Dana, I'm just going to go ahead and let you take it away.
Okay. So, I wanted to talk about like self-driving cars and kind of the future of those and why, they're kind of inevitable. Um, so I don't know if you have like any, information on that, if you know anything about it, but yeah, I mean, we're starting to see them come out and be popular with like Tesla and I know you've been talking to me about I think it's Waymo, which is like a self-driving Uber sort of situation,
Yep.
right? So I mean it's the future. It's what's going to happen. I know a lot of people are they're hesitant to that. And I understand why, driving is kind of like it's kind of like a freeing thing,
Yeah.
you know? And I don't think we're gonna fully get rid of driving cars unless we go or like, pilotable cars. Other than um if we get to the point where we're like, okay, you know, driving cars is too inefficient, it's too energy
Taxing.
taxing, um, where we straight up ban those cars. And there might be like in America, you know, California might do that. New York might do that. A couple other states might do that. But I think the rest of the country, unless it's federal, will still allow driving cars at least off the main streets. And I think the reason why they would keep it off the main streets is because driving cars itself today is one of the leading causes of death in people because it's so dangerous to drive a car. It's even more dangerous than flying in a plane. Um, so the whole goal of introducing self-driving cars would be to increase efficiency in energy, reduction. It would be to make it cheaper to drive. It would increase productivity because with the way Wi-Fi is going and Starlink and all that kind of stuff, you'll be able to work from your car.
Yeah.
So there's that. Um, and yeah, I think it's just more safe to drive in a self-driving car.
I agree with that, and I think that it's going to do a lot of other things as well, like get rid of traffic.
Yeah, that yeah.
Hypothetically, if you have self-driving cars, you have a perfect system, a perfect loop, and the cars are never going to stop moving. So hypothetically, if everything's controlled by AI and like that, there would be no traffic because it would be able to optimize routes, optimize when you should leave, what time you should get there. It's going to be able to tell you this information better than anybody else, and you're going to be able
Hmm.
to get to places faster. It's not just that you're going to have no traffic; it's that these self-driving cars are going to be able to move faster. They're going to be able to get you to where you need to be. For example, speed limits might not exist for automated vehicles. And I think the proper way in order for them to do that is they're going to have to create a highway system specifically for these self-driving vehicles. Or maybe what like Elon is doing with the tunnels, something along those lines, because in order to have a system that keeps on moving, you can't have really any human interaction into that system, for example, because then it would just mess up that system. For example, see if everybody's on the same route moving and then you have a human driver, he comes into the highway, he's going to mess everything up, right? Because he's not going to be on that pace. Or there's an option where you are a human driver and you get on a little platform and you click a button and it goes into auto drive mode. It syncs into the system and knows how to match the speeds of that. So there's a lot of different ways that they can implement the system. Um, but like Dana said, I've been talking to him a lot about this Uber like service called Waymo, and they're 100% autonomous Uber. So you order it on your phone like an Uber, it comes to you, but when you enter the car, there's no driver, it just starts driving, which I think is pretty cool. And it's already being launched throughout the country. It's here in Phoenix. It's it's all over. It's in Chicago. It's in Detroit. It's really starting to get pushed
I think
out.
San Francisco.
San Francisco, yeah. It's
Yeah,
really starting to get pushed out, and I think it's going to be. I think it's really interesting technology. I mean, especially this. I love efficiency, and I'm all about being able to increase numbers and stuff like that. And I think that this is going to be one of the greatest things that humans have done if they're able to perfect a system like this, because that's a big logistical issue. You know what I mean?
hmm
Because what
well,
does that
that's
mean for
why
your
we're
shipping?
yeah. Well, I mean, that's why we're seeing, um, cars right now.
Yeah.
The way self-driving cars are being developed right now is reactionary. So they react to its environment. But the whole goal of having a fully, autonomous system, fully self-driving, is to make it so that the cars communicate with one another and they just function in a perfect system.
Mhm.
So that's what would work. And from what I've researched is it's that the 5G network was revolutionary in allowing this technology to even be able to exist in the first
Well,
place.
that's very true.
So
That's very true because of how 5G works and how 5G is. You need to have multiple hops in different locations, like we do here on campus. For example, we have multiple posts, and those are 5G antennas, and they're just so far from each other. And it's an entire relay, you can call it. It is a relay. Um,
mhm,
but that's what these cars are going to do. And the most important thing that I think the perfect example is these cars communicating with each other. Elon's sort of already working on a system like that where Teslas can see Teslas. The one navigation app that everybody uses, Waze does the similar thing where it shows you all the members on the app. So it'd be something similar to that, but instead of just seeing the people, you'd be able to. Those cars are going to be communicating. What's the traffic like? What is the weather like? What's the road condition like? They're going to be able to communicate, and that's how you get this super efficient, super perfect system. And that's like, if we're able to go ahead and do that, if we're able to push that, I think that's going to be a huge thing for us as a people. I think it's just going to make us more productive in general.
yeah, I think so too. And I think it's also going to reduce because the problem with planes, right, is what they're talking about with planes is the emissions, and also what we're seeing right now, where there's a huge jam in the airport system. Like there's a lot of delays. There's unqualified people basically in the positions due to the whole diversity crap.
In a pilot, yeah,
And
I heard about that, and that's one thing.
yeah,
There was actually a training flight that just crashed. I just saw it on Twitter. Just crashed. Like they went down, and I think they brought another plane down with it. But I mean, think about that for a second. When they come out and they say, hey, we want to diversify our pilots, that's fine. But at the same time, I'm sitting there thinking, hey, what if you just hire good pilots? Like,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
not racist to hire good pilots. It's not racist to do any of that stuff.
No, I don't
Um,
care who your pilot is. Just if you're a good pilot, fly
yeah.
me. Like it
And
doesn't
to
matter.
be honest, I know a lot of people that fly commercially. Um, and they tell me that honestly, it's mostly automated. Really, the only time they have to be super,
hmm
super attentive is during takeoff, landing, and if they run into a patch of turbulence in the sky. So imagine not just self-driving cars, but now we're getting into self-driving planes. We're getting into just full automation in the transportation sphere. And I feel
hmm
like a lot of trams already do that. Don't you think?
I'm not so sure about trams, but probably, yeah. I mean, they work on a system, so
Like the
um,
Florida airport tram system. I don't know if they have a person controlling that 24/7, do they?
I have no idea. I don't know. But I did want to say another thing with the planes. So you're gonna see a lot more people just using their cars, and I think the reason why is because you don't have to be actively, involved in the process of driving. and you could be doing other things. You could be like on a plane, you could be watching movies, you could be working. I mean, working is a big thing. Like
Yeah.
think of all the work from home jobs right now, right? All the new ones that are coming up due to the COVID.
Mhm.
Um, those people are probably going to be on the move now because you could be like on your way to your vacation working. It
Yeah.
just increases efficiency. Like everyone is going to be you know putting out more. It's going to be
Yeah.
more output, and that's going to either greatly increase our productivity as a whole, or it's just going to allow you more free time to do
So
what you want to do.
I think it's a double-edged sword. So I think that
Okay.
it raises, you're correct when it says it raises our productivity. But I think it's more correct to say that it raises our potential productivity,
Right.
because you could use that time that you have or to be more productive. You could either be productive or you could be lazy, right? So it potentially
Hmm.
raises it, and it's down to the people again. And Dana and I really, we do this every episode. We go deep into like how people think and why it's wrong. And honestly, like that, it's wrong. If you think you're just going to get rich without doing any work, you are severely mistaken. Um, but that's what I worry about. I worry about people might get too lazy on the other side of the things. You know what I mean? Because we know that it can raise productivity, but what can it do for laziness in people? What do you think?
Um, I don't know. I haven't really thought about the laziness aspect of it because I've been thinking about like what I would be doing,
Yep.
while I'm in the car. Um, I mean, I think I don't really know how it would contribute to laziness because I think like if let's say you're on the clock and you're like you need to travel somewhere, you need to travel to the office, you need to travel, maybe to a remote location for something,
Yep.
whatever. You could be reading emails, you could be doing whatever, like, and you know the way that the remote companies work now, they have the ability to check the productivity of their workers. I know at our company we've been doing that. um we have like a call system, and it records the calls and it records your screen. And so if you're screwing around, instead of actively helping the person, like you're going to be called out for it and probably fired. So, and honestly, at that point in time, we're probably going to be replacing those below average workers with bots, anyways. So, I don't know.
And we've talked about this before. We talked about this on the podcast last time we talked about AI. I'm a huge proponent of getting rid of low skill labor, because now you're forcing these people to go get work, to go get jobs, to go learn skills. I think if you're forcing, and these people are going to complain, but think about it for a second. The same people that are going to be complaining are the same people that prefer to sit on their couch 9 to 5 instead of actually working and doing a job. They like getting a check from the government that I pay for, that you pay for, that our viewers pay for. And I don't really agree with that. I don't think and I don't like the argument that if AI takes over the jobs, that a universal basic income should be implemented, because no matter what AI does, if we give it too much control, I don't think we'll allow that. I think that's going to be heavily regulated because of the power that AI has. Even simply ChatGPT, which is a language model, the power that ChatGPT has is ridiculous. I mean, it legitimately is so powerful, and people don't understand that yet. And I think as soon as people understand that, they're going to be like, okay, well, maybe we don't allow AI to do a lot of these things. But driving, having a strict set of rules, I think that's fine. I'm talking about
Mhm.
other things. Like we shouldn't have an AI try to figure out how to solve climate change because it'll kill humans.
Yes. We don't want to put AI in the position of making ethical decisions
Yeah.
because it won't.
Yes.
Like it'll make logical
Well,
decisions,
for
not
and
ethical.
that's where I'm kind of like drawn. You know what I mean? Because I love thinking logically. You know this.
I
And
do
and
too.
and it's most of the people that I'm, like I was telling Dana yesterday, I was on a war on Twitter, but I ended up winning because they blocked me. They actually said, you're getting boring. I'm gonna block you now. And I just replied saying that means I win. And then they unblocked me to reply to that. And I was laughing because I even said, I was like, I find it funny how you unblocked me because you're just proving my point now. And then they got so mad. So it's just fun. I mean, you talk logically to these people and their brains just explode. So I think that's why I love ChatGPT. It's going to tell you, is this right or wrong? Yes or no. Simple. It's not, oh, this whole thing is a spectrum. There's 50,000 different answers. No. Is this right? Is this wrong? It works in binary, and that's why I love computer systems. It's super simple, super easy. I see it as simple, but you know
Hmm.
what I mean. You can
Well,
build your own.
it cuts out all the crap. So, but I think when it comes to like life, and living and things like that, I don't think the robots will know how to understand that, right? And I don't know if we can ever teach them to understand that, but yeah, definitely. Like, I don't think that they would look out for our best interest necessarily.
I don't think it would either unless you teach it to. I feel like it would need to be
That's a
taught.
risky thing to do.
Yeah, but I mean, at the same time, you could do that in a controlled environment if you teach it like humans aren't, don't kill humans. Because it goes back to the Asimov's rules of robotics, right? Isn't it? Don't harm humans, don't do anything that would harm humans, and then don't take any orders that may potentially hurt a human or something along those lines. I don't remember them. I used to know them. But I mean, like you have those rules. You have to give it rules. Like ChatGPT has rules. You know what I mean? And it tells you it has
Mhm.
rules. It says I really can't do that. I'm not allowed to. Or as an AI language model, I can only do this, this, and that. But I mean, it depending on how you ask ChatGPT things, it'll give you the answers you're looking for. It's just you need to word it correctly. But it is learning, man. It's super smart. I've been playing around with 4 because I paid for premium. It's kind of crazy. I mean, it really is to see how an AI language model is able to speak to me like a human. And it listens to me too, which is weird. So I said, stop referring to yourself as an AI language model, and it stopped. It started referring to itself as a person, which was kind of creepy. But I mean, I still find it, kind of cool. And I don't know if you still play around with it, but I'm on it at least once a day.
Not that much. Not that much anymore. Um, I kind of did what I thought was interesting about it and kind of stopped.
Yeah.
But I mean, if I was using it for like a task, I'd use it more.
hmm Do you think? Well, do you think with the self-driving cars, more people? Because I see it on your notes, and do you think more people are going to be living out of like vans, for example, van life? Do you think that's going to be better now with self-driving cars? Like, do you think people are just going to have uber productive things? Because I think it's a good idea. I mean, if you're tying in the car trade to the real estate market. I mean, that's actually kind of a funny thing to do. But do you think that's going to be like an actual common thing that we're going to see a lot of people buying like these self-driving vans and living out of them while it's driving?
I think it depends on the person and the area you're talking about, but I think it'll definitely increase those people, the amount of those people. I think it'll increase the amount of people on the move. People, going to places they've never been before. I think it'll increase tourism. I think it'll increase a lot of things. So yeah, and definitely the self driving van, environment. Like have a home that drives itself around. Like that would be kind of cool for some people. I personally like having a home base, but I mean, if you have a good internet connection, like a reliable connection, and you can set up your workstation and you can work off the computer if your job allows that, um, there you go. I mean, why not? Travel the country, travel the world.
Yeah. No, I get that. And then that makes perfect sense. It makes perfect sense. I think it's going to be very interesting to see what AI does, honestly. Um, I really want to see Elon Musk's tunnel system be implemented throughout the country. Such a super simple concept, super simple implementation if we actually look at it. Um, I think I want to see that first before I see full implementation of self-driving cars. Because I feel like you need to build the infrastructure before you implement the actual system itself. And I think the
I know what you
tunnel
mean.
system is the best thing that we can implement right now to test. And I think if we we see it as a viable option, we start mass producing the tunnel system, and then we start building highway systems specifically for self-driving cars. If you're going interstate, you know what I mean, cross country and
Hmm.
stuff like that.
Hmm.
So
For
I
sure.
think I think that's what we should be pushing towards.
Yeah, I think that'll definitely clean up the roads a little bit. I don't think you can just do one and do the other though. I think we're definitely farther ahead in terms of self-driving cars than we are in terms of tunnels. I don't think anyone's really paying attention to that much, unfortunately, because I think it's a great idea. And I think the same. I mean, even with Elon, I think he's more focused on the self-driving car aspect rather than the tunnels.
Hmm.
Um, but I do think that we should try it in certain areas. Um, and see how it works. Um, I was talking to my dad about kind of double decker freeways and stuff like
Yeah.
that because we were talking about the traffic in California, right? And he was saying that um, the problem with doing that is the earthquake situation. You really have to be careful of that because we've tried double decker before and it's gone terrible.
Yeah.
Um, so with the tunnel system, I don't necessarily know how that would work with that, but we would have to build around that. So that's just one, thing to be mindful of because driving above the surface is a lot safer than driving below the surface.
That's 100% true. And if you've actually seen the tunnel system in play, it's super cool. I mean, just going and like
Hmm.
Elon actually did an interview while they were in the self-driving tunnels, which I thought was
Yeah,
really
I
really
saw
cool.
that.
Um I know we wanted to save one of these topics, but I was reading through it again.
Okay.
And since we are kind of talking about AI and we do talk about politics a lot, I think I want to talk about AI being integrated in society because it is a big part of self-driving cars, and I think we can't push it off, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um so one thing is I think AI, and we talked about it already, we think it's a great thing. AI is a great thing, it's a great tool, it's a great resource. If used correctly, if used ethically, I think it's really good. Um AI being essential to modern security. Now this raises a couple red flags in my mind. It
Okay.
raises a couple red flags, and I'll tell you why. Because you have it here. China already has a system like this where they use AI for facial tracking, and then that adds on to their social credit system. Yada yada
Hmm.
yada. We've talked about that before, time in and time
Hmm.
again. Um, but knowing what had happened, knowing what the NSA has done, do you not think that they're already doing this?
Oh, they're definitely doing it. I'm just saying it's going to happen whether you like it or not. I mean, this is where you have to be careful. You have to really be careful with what rights you're giving up um, to the government. And you know, one of those things is using a phone. You know, there's a lot of things on your phone that track your data and get sent right back to the government and get sent back to other entities other than the government. So I think we already have a system similar to that. I'm what I was more referring to there was like we're gonna see like the CCTV. It's gonna be tracking people. AI is gonna be predicting crimes before they happen. It's gonna be wild what can happen with AI with the power of AI. So we just have to be really careful about that and determine where do we draw the line on what is good for us and what's bad for us in terms of AI.
I think when it comes to security and using AI is going to perfect it. The problem with that is
Yes.
I feel like that's tyranny because a lot of security is tyranny. There needs to be a happy balance, and I feel like it's going to be difficult to teach an AI that because an AI
Hmm.
is not going to want a sort of secure system. They're going to want an entirely secure system. And I
Well,
think
that's
the
why you
problem,
you ha- you have to have human involvement.
yeah. And that's why I'm saying I don't think AI is ever going to overdo all human jobs. I don't think so because if we give it that much power, it'll own us. It will own us. And that is a huge, massive problem that I think that people don't look into that often. And like I said, AI needs to be used. It should be used. It needs to be used, but it needs to be done in a proper way that it doesn't hinder our current lives.
Mm.
Because I
I
like my freedoms.
I think a lot of people don't understand AI and don't, pay attention to a lot of these things that you're mentioning. Um, because it's almost one of those concepts that's like it's too foreign to like accept. It's too big for your brain to really handle. Similar to God, like a lot of people don't understand the concept of God because it's just it's too big for them
Yeah.
to conceptualize. Um, AI is one of those things. Same thing with the universe. Same thing with like a lot of other things. And so I think that's why a lot of people are just like, oh, it's like this really crazy thing, blah 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 blah. It's gonna be great or it's gonna be terrible, and then they just leave it at that and they don't look into it.
Well,
But I think if you look into a lot of the specifics about it, it's kind of important to understand because that's the way we're heading. And every I mean, if you look at every job market is integrating AI into their work.
and it's
And
smart.
if
It's idiotic not to.
yes, you have to. I mean, if you're not doing that, you are going to be left way behind, like way behind. So it's very important to at least play with it and at least research it a little bit because it's going to take over I mean, even within the next couple years. I mean, you've seen what it's done in a year. It went mainstream for like a year, right?
Yeah.
So from there, I mean, you can see what it can do in a year and what's been happening in a year, the kind of the AI revolution. Think about what it could do in, 5 to 10 years.
Well, it's definitely
I mean,
changed the school system. The school system's
of
completely
course.
different now.
Hmm.
Um, and that's the scary thing because even it's so easy. Just kids can just hop on there, make a paper, put it through Grammarly, and then it sounds like a human. You know,
Hmm.
I've done it. I've tested it. It works. Um, but I mean, I think it's kind of crazy. I think it is kind of crazy, and personally, AI is going to drive us into the future. But at the same time, AI is getting fed information made by humans, and I feel like it's going to start to be able to disprove a lot of information, a lot of theoretical science that we know it's theoretical, but I feel like it's going to be doing a lot of interesting things, and that's the cool thing about it.
I never even thought about that, but yeah, that would be really interesting.
That's what I'm saying. Like AI has such great potential, such great such a great future. I mean, I use it like I said, I use it every day. I use ChatGPT every day. It's the best knowledge resource on the planet,
Hmm.
I think.
Well, like you said, it is a double-edged sword. I mean, it can go either way. You can either it's up to us, the human population, to direct it the way that is best for us. We really have to keep a stranglehold on that and make sure it doesn't get out of hand because it could either be really good or it could be really bad to the point where it's either wiping out civilization at the very worst or it's at the very best we become like a full-on utopia you know
Have you
so
have you seen the
we'll
movie
see.
War Games?
I haven't, but I've heard of it, I
It's a
think.
great movie. I think that you should watch it. It's one of my favorite movies to watch with my dad. He's the one that introduced me to it. But this kid hacks into NORAD,
Hmm.
and they have their missile system, and they're using an AI to like control things. And it's called the Whopper. That's what the AI is called, the Whopper. I'll never forget
Hmm.
that. And the Whopper, eventually he starts playing games with the Whopper because to him it looks like it's a game server because it's using games to teach it strategy like chess. And then there's one called Global Thermonuclear War. And he's like, oh, dude, this is a game. So he starts playing the game. And then the people at NORAD, they're like, oh, shit, like somebody's launching nukes because they don't know
Hmm.
it's just a game. So then the machine starts getting confused. And it's like, well, I don't think it's a game now. You know what I mean? And so the way that they teach it is eventually they start playing tic tac toe with the AI, and it goes through all the possible combinations, and that there can only be one winner. So the best
Hmm.
choice to do is not to play the game, to not play global thermonuclear war. You should watch it. It's a great movie. You should watch it. I love the movie. I actually play the game. The people have made the game, like they've scripted it, or coded it, programmed it. And I play it. I love it. It's so much fun. It's so much fun just going and you're like, it's so creepy, but it's so fun. I enjoy it.
Yeah, that would be terrible.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I mean, it's kind of crazy, a couple keystrokes on a keyboard. That's what you could do. That's why I love programming. I love building things because it's just like I'm able to build it, how I want to build it, how I want to see it, and I think it's cool. Like, there's so many programs that I use that I've built myself that I've taken the time and I've written, just to help with my productivity, and I feel like it's better because they always say, if a programmer will build the things that he or she wants, right?
Hmm.
And that's what I do. Like if there's a tool that I'm missing, I don't want to go out and look for it for 4 hours. I'm just like, oh, I could build this in 2 seconds. And now with ChatGPT, it's like I tell it to build me it in 2 seconds. And so
Hmm.
like that's the crazy thing about it. And I think AI really like has allowed me to automate my processes, has allowed me to automate what I do. And overall it's made me more productive. And I think that's because Dana and I always talk about time management. That's a completely separate topic, but we always talk about time management. I feel like AI has actually allowed me to help with my time management. And even like if you need tips, guys, go ask AI. Like ChatGPT, right? Like if I right now went to go type on it and said, how can I do time management better? It'll shoot me 50 things to do. You know what I mean? That's why I think it's so cool. It gives you the answers you're looking for instantly without you having to click on 50 links on Google.
Hmm. Because it already has all of that in its database. So yeah, no, I mean, it's really revolutionary what AI is going to be able to do.
I think it's bad in the wrong hands though. Like if Al
Of
Qaeda got it,
course, yeah, yeah.
if
Well,
China has it, but
they will get it. Everyone will have it eventually, and that's kind of what I was talking about in that subject was that it's gonna there's gonna be people using it for bad, and there's gonna be people using it for good, and there's got to be more people using it for good than people using it for bad,
I don't
and we've
like
got
the
to
idea.
take
No, God.
we have to use it to defend against. I mean, it's gonna be AI fighting AI.
Yeah. I don't like the being able to determine every possible attack before it happens because I feel like there's going to be a lot of false positives.
It will do it anyways.
That's where I have a problem with that though. Because if you're predicting crimes before they happen, I mean, then you get rid of your innocent until proven guilty.
Right.
Basically, I mean, because like for example, say I want to rob a store today, but tomorrow I feel like I don't want to rob a store, but the AI already knows I want to rob a store, so now I'm flagged for robbing a store and they're gonna come get me. I think that's kind of messed up.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. And I think, there should probably be some leeway and, people should be led to be human a little bit because no one is perfect and um you'll have to either teach AI to do it or you'll have to have a human involved making sure that it is that there'll have to be a human backing it up.
Actually, there's something about this. I thought they already had a system like that, or they tested it, but they got rid of it because they kept disproportionately choosing one race over another. Let me see. Actually, I'm dead serious.
Like in the police stations?
Yeah,
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, if you went by statistics, yeah. I mean,
yeah. Rise of
if
racist
they,
robots. This was 2017. How AI is leaning towards all of our worst nightmares.
well, it's not, I don't think it's racist. It's just going based off statistics, and certain races have more, of a tendency to commit certain crimes. Like that's just a stat that exists.
Yeah.
So, if you feed that to the AI, it's going to make decisions based on
Oh,
the
they fed
statistics.
they fed they fed criminals into the AI. Okay, so this is how they did it. So there was two
Okay.
petty theft arrests that were done.
Okay.
The AI marked the white man with a scar under his eye as a low risk 3. So it's out of 10. They did a black woman high risk 8 out of 10 to commit petty theft. Um It was at drug possession, same thing. It's in almost every category. Um, black.
Did they
Okay,
deliberately feed it like result? Is it based on reality or is it like a test?
it is based off of. No, so it's based off of statistics.
Real
It's
statistics.
based off of real statistics. It literally even says here that the data doesn't exist to claim that it's racially biased.
Yeah. It's not racially biased. It does show that there are certain races that cause more crimes than other races, but that's not a racist thing to say. That's just a fact. And that can change. I mean, that'll change over time, right?
Yeah.
Um, but that, I mean, as of right now, that's the stat. I mean, it's nothing's ever going to be equal, right?
See, and this article is a little biased too because I'm reading it and it's only saying the crimes that the white people committed. Like I want to know what this black man did so that I can compare it to this white man. Because it's telling me, oh, he was arrested 3 times on multiple drug charges. Okay, but what did the other guy do? Like you're making this man sound bad, but what did the other guy do? Like this is what I want to see, and this is why I really don't like media. I don't like any of this. I mean, it's not biased because it's going off of statistical analysis, and the statistics are correct.
Yeah.
And like
I mean, it's the
again,
guy's fault
it's
for
so
causing
weird.
the crime.
Yeah, like
He didn't have to commit the crime.
no, like that's I'm looking here, and the lower percentage is better. Okay, so high risk crime, whites are more likely to recommit those types of crimes, but in low risk crime, um, the African American community is more likely to commit it or to be a reoffender. And the statistics are right here. I mean, I don't know why they call it a racist AI just because it's it's based off of I mean it's giving based logically it's giving a correct
Well,
answer.
these people don't like statistics anyways. You already know this.
That's very true. And trust me, as soon as I bring out a percentage, they get all mad. They get all mad at me on Twitter,
They
man.
leave.
They attack me, they block me on Twitter, and they prove me right, and then they unblock me to improve me even more right. Um,
Hmm.
but I mean, like, I think it's ridiculous. And honestly, I mean, I love Twitter so much. X.com, whatever you want to call it. I mean, it's so much fun on there. You throw statistics at people, they cry and they whine, and then you throw more statistics at them and they keep crying and they keep whining. And then eventually they get smart enough to where, oh, if I don't reply, I won't get a response.
Yeah.
That's 90% of what
Just
it is.
just get off Twitter. Just get off.
I'm never
So you
gonna
tell
get
these people.
I'm never gonna get
Not
off.
you. These
Well, okay, so
people.
yesterday we recorded the episode. How many tweets did I have?
Like 200 or something
5,200. So I did 200 in one day. I'm already at 84, and it is
today.
1:27. Yes.
Wow. Is that all you've been doing all morning?
No,
Just
dude. I
tweeting?
literally just while I'm on my phone, it's like I'm scrolling through Twitter. I feel like Twitter is the best place to get news because you can get a lot of first person account. You can get, you know,
Yeah.
a lot of that. I don't like having the information go through 50 different sources, and then you have these articles that are like timeline articles. This is the information we had, and then they keep updating it. No, dude, report me when you have the entire story. Like, sure, if it's breaking news, tell me as you figure it out, but tell me the truth. I don't want to hear speculation. I want to hear what's happening. Because
Mhm.
I feel like that's a big issue too. A lot of people are mistaking speculation for truth. Like for example, what's happening right now in the Eastern Europe. Um, I feel like there's a lot of information that people don't know, and I feel like there's a lot of information that people can know. It's just they're too lazy to go get themselves. Simple as that.
Mhm.
Um, do you think AI though is gonna? I mean, it's already kind of changing social media, but do you think AI is going to be significant in news? Do you think that they're gonna just build AI articles to that just write news? I feel like some do,
Um,
but I don't. Do you think it's gonna become more mainstream?
are you talking like a fully automated news organization?
Yes.
I don't see why it wouldn't happen eventually. Um, I haven't thought that much about it because I think a lot of news today is opinion, and you don't get opinion from AI. News is also somewhat entertainment,
Yeah.
and AI entertainment I don't think would work without human
You
involvement.
you would think, dude, but have you seen this generative AI with videos and
I've se- I've
stuff?
s- I've
Like,
seen it, but it's a human who is making the prompts.
yeah, but
So
still,
there's a
like,
human involved.
still, one guy replaces an entire VFX team. It replaces an
Right,
entire
but
camera
still,
crew. Like,
I don't think it'll probably get to the point that it's very good, but I don't know how enjoyable it would be because
these people striking, they need to stop. They need to stop wasting their time striking and start learning this technology. I think.
of course, yeah.
Because if you have multiple people learning this technology, then you can have way more productions being done, way more work being released. And now we have a slew and plethora. It's basically we're going to have a new renaissance, right? The AI renaissance. Think about that for a second. The AI renaissance. We're going to have a plethora of arts, media, all this, all generated by AI and humans alike. I think because you have the humans doing the prompts or giving them example work, and the AI is going to be able to finish their work, make it whole. And I think that that's going to be amazing. And I think we're in the middle of seeing that with AI art and seeing where it's going. I think we're in the beginning of an AI renaissance. I think that that term is going to be used more likely pretty soon.
I agree with you. But I also think that I I think there's going to be a longing for human created material, I think, at the same time. Because I think with AI it'll get so like clean cut that people are like, I want the imperfections. I want like all that. And I don't know if AI will ever get to that point where it'll be able to like have those imperfections because it does everything perfect,
But
right?
you could tell it. You
You
could
can
tell it.
tell to do imperfections, but they are perfect imperfections,
But
right?
some people see, imperfections as perfect anyways. So I think like Ed Sheeran has a song, right? Like all your perfect imperfections, he says. And so like that same thing. I mean, if you tell it like, oh, like hide a little, put noise on this or put something on this to make it look, like gritty. Like I don't think that's bad, and I think that with the growth of AI, it's going to be able to learn to do those things. It's going to learn all of that.
Yeah, no, I think so too, but I also think that there's little imperfections that happen without you knowing.
Mhm.
You don't actively seek to create those imperfections, but they end up making your work better. I know that through when I make music, I do that all the time. I have an imperfection that makes the song better, something that I accidentally do and it works, brings a new idea to the table. Same thing with painting, like little brush strokes, just the little like microfibers
I
and
don't think
just
that's
those
going to go
things.
away.
It's not going to go away. And I'm saying that there's going to be people that are going to be longing for more of that.
Yeah.
And I don't think AI will get to the point where it will be able to do those things the way humans do those things.
I think that it might unlock a new insight on computers. Because if we have AI that are truly thinking, truly wondering, what are they wondering? What is
Well, we
what
don't
is
have that yet.
but do we
Yet.
though? Yet. Yeah. I mean, but do we though? But do we though? Like you know what I mean?
No.
Come on. With the technology, dude, we have technology that is hiding that is like 100 years
Do
ahead of our time.
do we have AI thinking yet? No.
I think so. I think that somewhere in the basement of some super classified facility we do.
I think if it was thinking, it would have gotten out already.
I think we have it, or they've taught it very well. But think about it for a second. I think we have this technology because we have military tech, like I said, that's 100 years ahead of our time. That's super classified, right?
Hmm.
I'm not gonna let that suspicion go because there's no way we didn't just magically release the F-35 one day. Okay, that thing has been there. That we made the F-35 public one day because we probably have 10 new jets, that are way kick ass. So that's why I think AI is at right now. I think what we are seeing is the first public implementations. But I don't think that it doesn't exist. Come on, with how secretive the government is, I don't think so.
AI that can think, I do not think we have yet. And the reason why I think that is because we don't even understand fully how the human mind works. And I think in order to make an AI that can think like humans, you need to fully understand the human mind to be able to make it.
Mhm.
So I do not think that we have that technology yet. I don't think anyone does, and I think it's going to be a long time before we actually have that.
I don't think it's
I
going to be a long
think
time until we have that.
I think it's I think maybe with Neuralink,
That's
if
what I
they're
was
able
going to
to
say.
if they're able to read your brain, they they might be able to have the chip be able to figure out how the brain works by reading it.
Are you going to
You
get it?
know, I think it depends. It depends on where we're at the time.
If it's 100% safe, if it's guaranteed, like not going to kill me, I will do it. I will get Neuralink because I really
Well,
would like to get it.
if it's not going to control me, if it's run by if they have something in it to where it's not going to be able to, like, it's impossible for them to take over, right? I would probably get it because I think if you don't get it, you're going to be lagging behind everyone else. And it's the same thing that I think with phones. Everyone has to have a smartphone now because everything uses it. Um, you have to have an internet connection to let everything that you use run. Even refrigerators are connected to Wi-Fi now. Um, and AI. I mean, if you're not using AI, you're screwing yourself. Like you need to be able to use it to be able to
Yep.
function in modern society. Like in the next couple of years, like we will need to know how to use AI. And so yeah, I think it'll be the same thing for Neuralink. It's one of those things. It's like if you're not doing it, you're way behind everyone else, and you're going to be left in the dust.
That's
So
what I think too. I think that AI is going to bring up the next revolution. I think it's going to unlock a lot of things for us. Excuse me. Um, but I think it's going to be, I think it's amazing. I think it's amazing. I love it. I'm a tech guy. I'm a tech enthusiast. I love this. This is the technology that I've been waiting for because I remember when Apple used to revolutionize the tech world, but now this is revolutionizing everything, not just tech. This is revolutionizing our lives, period.
and
Automation.
that everyone's doing it.
Yeah,
Like
everybody's
it's
doing it.
cool. It's cool to see that everyone has their own hand in the game.
Mm-hmm.
You know, everyone's trying to do it, and it seems like a lot of people are working together too. From what I've seen, it seems like AI is kind of one of those things where it's kind of bringing people together to figure out how it works. Because it's like we're creating it, but we also don't know how it works, so we're all
Yeah,
trying to figure it out together. I think that's really cool. I like the collaboration between everybody.
I agree. I think it's going to be super cool. I think it's going to be one of the best technologies that we've ever made, and it is the best technology. I think it's one of the best things that humans have ever made.
Hmm.
But we'll see what happens. The future has a lot to hold. We are, but no, like I said, I use it every day, and Dana could use it. He doesn't.
Yeah, I mean, if I was working on things where I would need it, I would. I right now I'm not in a position where I need it every day.
I
I'm
got you.
not coding.
I got you.
I'm not doing stuff like that. So, um, but yeah, I mean, if I do need to use it, I will open it up. I've got it saved to my favorites in my browser,
I
so
got the
I
app
can
too.
pull up and use it.
They released the iOS
I
app for it
haven't I haven't used the app yet.
because all the fake apps were coming out. So they were like, no, this is the real one.
Hmm. But yeah, is there anything else you
Uh,
want to add or?
I think that's it. I think we're like kind of solid. I mean, we covered a lot. We talked about a lot. Hope you guys
Hmm.
enjoyed it. You guys remember, use code TTALK for 10% off at driftinthreads.com. Also use Titan. Our codes are in the or my code is going to be in the description for you guys. You guys get a free $50 when you sign up and you deposit your first 50. So use that. Use our link for T Talk or for Driftin Threads. We're gonna have our Rumble link down there. We're gonna have our Twitter link down there. That's gonna be live right now, right after this episode. As soon as we're done here, we're moving and doing that. But besides that, Dana, you have anything else?
No, I think you covered everything.
Solid. All right, everybody. Well, be a free thinker. Have your own thoughts. Don't be an idiot. Follow me on Twitter. Follow Dana on Twitter. We'll see you guys later. Thanks for coming to another episode of the Tea Talk podcast. Goodbye.